All right.
Well, hello.
Hi.
I'm Steven.
I'm Derek.
And this is RC Lawn Share Pilots Podcast.
Welcome.
How's everybody going?
Yeah.
Doing good? So, you might notice.
We're back to the difficult camera setup.
Yeah. So.
Because apparently we hate our editor.
That would be me today.
I'm not jealous.
Derek's got a bunch of other stuff he's doing anyways. So.
True story.
Let's just, well, you know what?
Roll intro.
It. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this.
Now.
Okay, so first things first.
We got so much stuff going on today.
So much stuff.
Oh my gosh! So
Like,
we're going to be looking at our show notes. We don't have teleprompters yet. Prompters.
We're not cool enough for that.
No.
But we probably could. We could 3D print some to slap onto the front of the camera and do like Matt Colville does and just slide your smartphone on and it reflects off the glass. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could do that. All right.
We're working on stuff. We're slowly improving this thing. But Derek, you have some news.
I do have
going on here.
They have set the dates for SOAR Utah.
Nice.
I am so excited for this. All right. So write this down on your calendars, everybody. SOAR Utah 2020, September 3rd through the 7th. That is over a weekend.
All right.
It's Thursday through Monday.
All right.
So the 3rd and 4th will be out at the Granitesville airstrip. So not Grantsville, excuse me.
Grantsville, which is out by...
It's out west of Salt Lake.
Yeah.
You follow I-80, you pass the mountains once, and before you pass the mountains the second time, you pull off the road.
Pretty much.
That's basically it. It's out by the Salt Flats. But so the 3rd and 4th of September, they will be doing an aero tow out there.
Oh.
So they'll have a bunch of, that's like where the big gliders come out, and they'll aero tow them behind all the planes and stuff.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, like that's one of their regular activities. That's going to be super exciting. Excuse me. The 5th and the 6th, they will be out at Point of the Mountain. That is where I attended 2 years ago.
Yeah, and
that's all slope soaring and so much fun. I plan on getting to at least, so the slope soaring, that is the 5th and 6th, that is Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
I do plan on at least going to that Saturday.
All right. I want to go.
Slope soaring is so much fun.
I want to go, mostly to talk to people.
Oh, yeah.
Get some interviews that we can share with you guys and stuff like that. So if you're fans and you're going to be there,
let us know.
Yeah.
Or come say hi. We'll have our T-shirts on us.
Yes, we will.
And then the final day, don't burn yourself on that. The final day, the 7th. Yeah, that's why your hands is getting warm. You're just sitting there like, ooh, it's nice down here.
It's really warm right here. What's going on? What's that I smell?
It's burning hair. All right, so the final day, the 7th, that is going to be up at Francis Peak. That is a peak just east of Farmington, Utah.
Oh, okay.
Really high elevation. There's a radio tower up top, but it's big, flat, open space on top with nice, huge slopes to be soaring off of.
Cool.
So some high altitude soaring. You can get your car all the way to the top.
So no hiking necessary.
No hiking. Nope.
So, but for all of these, you need to fly. What do you need?
To fly, there is, as far as I know, there is no pilot fee.
Okay.
There may be a donation fee for some of the days that, like, they do plan on having food, I think, for Grantsville. So if you want to attend and have some food, it's only a few bucks. I think it's like 10. But for a pilot fee, there wasn't one 2 years ago. I don't think there will be one this year.
Okay.
But I don't know. You do need your AMA license.
Okay.
So if I have mine still,
yeah.
So I'll use that and I'll fly. Because I'm going to have my Spirit up there. I'm going to have the Rock Hobby up there.
I don't think I'll be flying. I don't know that I'll be in time to get mine.
Yeah.
Or that I'll even plan on getting it right now.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
I will be going, or I will plan on going the same day that you go.
Yeah, we can carpool.
Yeah.
That'll be a good time. All right, so there's that. That is SOAR Utah 22. I am super excited. SOAR Utah 20 was awesome. It's a great day. Wear sunscreen and hat and all that fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I got roasted.
I always wear a hat because I shave my head.
Yep.
For those who have never seen me, I have a shaved head.
Yeah, for those who have never watched the YouTube video or seen any of our Instagram, Steven's bald.
Yes.
By choice.
By choice.
By choice.
So, I mean, my news is not nearly as exciting. Did you have anything else? That was it?
I think that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Perfect.
that's the thing I've been excited for all the last 2 years.
Yeah,
Because Soar Utah was so much fun. It was an
Pretty
amazing
cool.
trip.
Yeah, I'm sad I missed it because the video and stuff that you provided, it looked like it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Well, and I have it set up to where I mount my GoPro onto my Spirit,
That is awesome.
and you can see the nose, and it just goes, man. It's sweet.
So really, mine, I bought a bunch of parts, which I'll talk about
Yay!
later, for two things.
Da-da-da.
Two things right here for
10
what
things.
we're going to be working on tonight, and for my Haas. So, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, so I've been buying parts, spending a little bit of money. I don't donate plasma anymore, so the amount of money I can spend dwindled greatly.
Yeah,
So it's a little slower for me to buy parts nowadays.
that's all right.
But it's all good. It's all good. Speaking of parts that I've bought, I'm going to dive into this. So
yeah, let's do it.
bought a replacement motor for my tiny trainer, which is what we'll be working on today.
Did we ever tell them what was going on with your tiny trainer?
I believe we did. My motor acts like it's got a short inside of it.
Huh.
And I don't know. I tried to. I don't have another a small pin ESC that I could hook it up to.
You could test it on mine.
Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of tested it, and it seemed to do the same thing but it was obviously not a good connection because they were bigger pins.
Gotcha.
But I got them in there, kind of, got them so they were touching, and it did the same thing. So I'm assuming when I put it on, or maybe it was just a faulty motor. I don't know because I never tested it before I attempted to mount it.
Gotcha.
Should have done that, by
Yeah.
the way. Beginner tip later.
Oh,
Yeah.
Carry on. I was just looking at the power plug.
So I bought another motor.
Mhm.
Then I got another Power Pack A
From Flight Test,
from Flight Test.
Shreed,
Where'd you put those?
you put them
Where'd I put them?
on the ground. Da-da-da-da.
So Flight Test. This is everything you need to get started, except for your receiver.
Airplane. Oh, yeah.
Well, and the airplane.
It's hard to go anywhere without the airplane.
Yes, but I was excluding that.
The airplane can fly without the motor. The motor can not really fly without the airplane.
Yeah, the assumption I was making is we already had an airplane.
That's bold.
It was a
very
bold
bold.
assumption
That's
because
bold, sir.
I do not have an airplane for it. Well,
You have pieces of
I
an
have
airplane.
pieces, yes. I also for my Haas, I got the new front drive shaft and rear drive shaft.
Nice.
These are stainless steel. I can't remember if I talked about this last time. Not stainless steel. They are steel drive shafts.
Oh,
Steel drive shafts. Now they're quite a bit heavier.
yeah.
Um,
Wonder if
well,
that's going to affect.
actually, they're not quite a bit heavier, honestly, because they're smaller, less, not as much material,
Uh-huh.
but it's still so lots stronger.
It's denser material.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I replaced those, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Let me get back to parts.
Yeah, go
products.
ahead.
So I got those, and I got some new aluminum parts. So there's pieces. Whoa, gosh, I wish I would have brought it with me.
Today would have been the day with this setup.
Right. On the Haas, I replaced the drive shaft connects to on the front drag. I replaced the piece that connects the drive shaft to the wheel, both on the front and the rear.
The hubs.
Yeah, not the hubs. So the hub's the outside. This is
Oh,
the
okay.
inside.
Yeah, I got you.
Inside. The axle something or another, I think. Anyway.
We're technical here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm trying to learn more and more, but, I'm old, so I can't
You are old.
remember much.
It's okay. I'm getting old.
So I
too.
got some aluminum parts. I got some blue ones and some green ones. Because my cover for my car is blue and for the truck is blue and green. So I went with blue and green.
Good
The
call.
drive shaft is black. Looks slick. Like they look like when I steer the front, the bling from the aluminum. I'm like, ah. And I didn't put it in here, because at the time that I updated this, I hadn't gotten it because I'd gone out, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I also got upgraded shock absorbers.
Nice.
They are it's an aluminum alloy for the center. So it's a lot stronger, and then they're metal instead of the
weird soft
plastic.
Yeah.
Or PCB.
They're wire
style.
coated in rubber stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Nice.
my shock absorbers are new. I haven't put them on yet, but
nice.
so we'll talk about that a little bit later. So what's some products you got?
So
going
I
on?
got cool new stuff. So I'm gonna tweak the fit the project that goes with these into it.
Oh, okay.
So I recently had a birthday, not to toot my own horn or anything.
Yeah, he's almost an adult now these days.
I am almost an adult. I can grow my own beard.
Kind of.
So I with that, I received FPV equipment. So my plan is to and I'm in the so okay, first.
Okay,
FPV
I'm excited about this. You just said FPV, and I want to do actually some FPV racing with my Haas.
Yeah.
At one time in the
well,
future.
This will work on that. So
okay.
For starters, I got from Race Day Quads the Mach 3 video transmitter. It can operate on 25, 200, 600, and 1,000 milliwatt power ratings.
Okay.
Which means I can get all the range for days.
Yeah.
So I've got that. I have the RunCam Phoenix 2 Nano, which is light years, like
holy cow,
uber smaller than I ever expected.
That is gorgeous.
Right? It's super slick.
Sorry about the focus, guys. I'll try to fix it in post. There you go.
Yep. And then for the antenna to transmit, I have the Foxeer Pagoda Pro 5.8 gigahertz short stubby. So I have the transmitting equipment, and I will be borrowing our friend's goggles.
We've talked about him. He did the FPV racing drone.
Yeah. I'll
quad.
be borrowing his goggles until I get my own, but they're going to be the Eachine EV800D. They're just basic analog goggles, nothing fancy about them. They're the kind that have just the flat screen in front of you that you can slide out of the headset so you can use that as a remote monitor sort of thing.
Yeah.
But he's really excited because once I get my own goggles, he wants to come fly with me and just kind of ride cockpit or shotgun with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be super fun.
This would be so fun on my Haas.
Yeah. So exactly.
And your airplane.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. The plan with this is I want a all-in-one self-contained FPV module
that you can just
I can just
whatever.
strap onto whatever. So today,
that is so awesome.
If you saw our Instagram posts and reels and stuff,
all of the posts,
I started printing the base platform for it. So here, I'm going to switch over to the camera in front of Steven real quick.
There you go. That looks beautiful.
All right, so you can kind of see that. So there is space in here. Right here where my finger's pointing, that is where the antenna will mount onto.
The front and then
these
the other
two
side
little
is the
posts
cameras.
will be where the camera sits. There are two bracket or tabs on the sides where rubber bands can strap down around the body of your vehicle onto this. There's a space for where a 3S 500 milliamp battery will sit, and then the VTX will just sit down the side.
So it'll be everything you need. You just
Yeah.
put that on wherever you can mount it, and it's good to go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
And I'm designing a housing to go over this to protect it all and provide airflow for the VTX because those things get cooking, especially at 1,000 milliwatts.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so I printed this out today. It printed in 3.5 hours.
It's a good print.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful print, too.
It came out super slick. I'm pleased with that.
The camera's not going to do this justice, but this is a beautiful print. So for those of you who
I'm super pleased.
are
That's just 0.2 layer height.
into the 3D printing and doing that with your RC stuff, man, this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Are you going to put this anywhere? The design for that?
Once I get it all perfected and nailed down the way I want, I will put it up on Thingiverse.
All right.
So it will be out there for people to
sometime
find.
in the future.
Yep. So that's the plan there. I need to test and make sure because the battery. Hang on.
Which one are you going with?
The Liperior 500 milliamp 3S.
Okay.
It does fit in there, but the plugs,
Oh, they're kind
especially
of...
the balance lead, it takes up a lot more
Oh.
space there than I want it to.
Yeah.
So I need to reevaluate the size of this.
Let's see.
I need to reevaluate it a little bit to get it to better fit. But that's why I printed out just this bottom piece, because I want to get those goggles from Rob and do a complete setup, get everything working, talking to each other right, and make sure that it fits on here before I print anything else, because I can make adjustments to this and make adjustments to the other bits and then go from there.
Yeah, this is, I mean...
So far, I'm pleased.
I mean, I'm not... I wouldn't be disappointed in this. This is
absolutely.
not a bad first run.
Well, and if you look, so, like, here's where... The problem is where the camera sits
And then...
and where the battery sits. Like, hang on.
Yeah. Grab a snap of that.
All right. So where the camera sits and where the battery sits, there's not really room for the back of the camera or the battery leads unless I turn the battery the other direction, but then it's running into the antenna wire that feeds from the VTX to the antenna.
Yeah.
So I've got some things I need to play with
You
there.
might need to add a millimeter.
To be fair, this thing is
Somewhere.
considerably smaller than it looked like on my computer. That's always the weird thing about designing parts this small. And this isn't really small, but designing small parts, it always looks bigger on the computer.
Yeah. This might...
It might work, but I need to play with it.
I don't know.
some
I think it will probably work. Especially for your first time running on this. Like, I would try it. Right?
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm...
You don't have to do the housing. Just the
fitting all the
fitting,
pieces
yeah.
into it. And that's
put it
my
all
plan.
in and see what it does.
So, and then the other fun part, with all that, my parents were tearing down a tree in their front yard.
This is...
And they found a Blade Inductrix FPV. I gutted the camera out of it.
Yep.
The tricky part, hang on, let me...
Oh, I go blurry.
The tricky part with it, though, is there is no antenna. So until I figure out where to mount the antenna and how to replace the antenna, I'd probably burn that up if I tried to power it on. Because without the antenna having, like the signal having someplace to go out the antenna, I'm in trouble. So I need to figure that out. But if I can, I have yet another camera for free.
All right.
I'll
Well,
answer him in a little bit.
that
So yeah, that is my newest
is cool.
products and what I'm wanting to do with them. And I'm super excited for that FPV module because I can strap that. I need to adjust the design a little bit to get it to fit with most of my planes, but I can easily strap that onto a majority of my planes.
Yeah.
I may not be able to get it on my Gentle Lady.
Probably not. Your flying wing, definitely not.
Maybe it might get on the flying wing.
You
It'd
think
be tricky, but I might get it. It'll go on. It can go on the Stinson. It won't go on the Extra 300 SC.
No.
It should go on the Spirit.
Yeah.
Whenever I fly
If
patches,
you ever fly that, yeah.
it'll go on there,
And then
and it'll easily fit on like my FT Simple Cub once I get that fixed up.
Yep.
Any FT plane, it'll strap onto super easy.
Would it even fit on
Yeah.
this guy?
Yeah,
Wow.
it would easily strap onto your tiny trainer because like this is the fuselage. Because the idea is for it to be compatible with rubber band-on wings, which is what
Yes, which is all FT stuff. Oh my gosh, that is a perfect fit.
So that's the idea is that you just you put the wing on, and then as you strap on the wing, and then you set this in place, and then just kind of pull the rubber bands up and
Over
over
top of
this.
it.
And it's a self-contained FPV unit. So long as you center it over your center of gravity, you're fine. You have no issues. Like so long as you balance it over that, It should cause no effect. I just need to make sure that I make the housing that goes over the top nicely semi-aerodynamic.
Yeah, you want to get a little bit of aerodynamics. I would say make it as aerodynamic and dynamic as you can. That was
absolutely
challenging.
That was really hard for you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But obviously, like if you just put a block on there, like the tiny trainer would notice it.
Yeah. The Stinson probably wouldn't. The Spirit probably won't. Patches would not at all.
No, Patches wouldn't care.
Patches wouldn't care.
Your Flying Wing would probably
It would
care.
absolutely notice. The Gentle Lady would notice.
The Gentle Lady, yeah. And
the Simple Cub wouldn't notice.
You don't think the Simple?
No.
How is a pretty big motor in that one?
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The motor is way too much for it.
So there's, most of yours wouldn't notice.
Exactly.
There would only be a couple that would. So
and then it would easily strap onto any RC car. Like I could strap it onto
the trucks,
one of my crawlers.
Oh yeah. The red one would be perfect, but you could put it on either one of them just with a little bit.
Oh yeah. Well, like the red one would be perfect because it already has that frame on top.
Yep.
But
that would be some awesome video.
Right. Like that would be fun. So long as you don't roll over it, but still.
I would be terrified to drive my Haas with that because I do bashing with my Haas. And I don't want to break your stuff.
Neither do I. So, but I'm super excited for that. Like, and honestly, the equipment that I've got there isn't super expensive. The camera's $25-$30. The video transmitter's 15 or 20, and then the antenna's like 10.
That's not too bad. No. So the goggles are going to be pricey.
And they're 100.
Yeah, and that's not, again, not bad.
No, that's dirt cheap.
Yeah.
And they're good stuff.
And the nice thing about what you've done here, what I think is the coolest part about this is it fits almost everything you have.
Well, that was my goal, is to have it fit as many vehicles as possible. Now, the tricky part is it is designed specifically for the equipment I'm going to be using, so it may not be compatible with a ton of other equipment.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to swap it out, but who cares? I mean,
like if someone else wants to print this, they could print it and make most anything work inside of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
cool.
super excited for that because
that's so cool.
It's just going to be so much fun.
That is. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It would be fun.
So let's see. Did I have any other products?
That was products. That was the
you were
only
going to
thing
say something else.
I was just going to move on to your latest outing because you don't have anything on here. Have you been out since
I crashed the rock?
Since we
hobby?
crashed, yeah. Have you been?
I have not been out flying. I have not been out to do anything. I went to Florida. That's what I've been out and do. So my latest outing was Kennedy Space Center.
Oh my gosh. We might have to do a whole episode about that. Because you've got pictures that was awesome.
So when we decided to go to Florida, my parents were like, "So what are you guys gonna do at Florida?" We're like, "Oh, we're gonna go see Gatorland and Kennedy Space Center." My dad's like, "Well, those are very Florida things to do." I'm like, "Exactly," and it's not Disney. So I was super excited. Like it's super cool. So we went to Kennedy. I'll just be really quick.
Okay, do it.
It was so cool.
I would love actually to talk a lot about this because there was RC stuff.
Yes.
In there.
So, and that was something really cool to see because like we walked through the field of rockets where they have.
Give me some of those pictures and you'll see them.
Some of the pictures.
They'll
so where they showed us the various rockets that, like the first rockets for the Gemini missions, they took a nuclear missile, took off the warhead and put on a capsule for a person.
Yes.
Like, oh my, that's not terrifying at all. So we got to see all that cool stuff. So many of these astronauts from that day, from the Gemini and I'm forgetting the rest of them. Apollo and Mercury. All those pilots, majority of them were involved in RC in some way or models.
That's cool.
Like I've got pictures here, like they were all engineers as kids. Like I was.
That's awesome.
Building Legos, building erector sets, building models. Like they have on display the erector set for one of the pilots. They have on display a lot of the fighter helmets from when they were in the Air Force.
Yeah.
And
so all those first ones were all Air Force.
Yeah. Like I got a picture of Alan Shepard's Air Force helmet.
Yeah. You'll see that.
And John Glenn's, like those two dudes are freaking legends.
Yeah.
So, and then we got to go there. Oh my word. It was well worth the trip. And they have the actual, forget if that's Mercury or Gemini. I think it's Mercury.
Yeah.
But the actual Mercury capsule that they flew on. Then we went out to we went out to see the Saturn V rocket.
All right.
So when you get to the Saturn V center, because you have to take a bus from the Kennedy Space Center past where they assemble the rockets that they launch out to the Saturn V center.
Yeah.
They take you into this room. They should give you a little presentation on the whole thing. And then they take you into another room where they give you another presentation on the whole thing. And then they take you into one final room. They give you a final presentation, really epic thing. And you're standing in this room with a big kind of 3D screen around you and a screen directly in front of you and just kind of standing there watching this presentation. And then all of a sudden, the room beyond lights up and you are staring at, oh, wait, no, this is a different room. Excuse me, I'm getting so excited. There was so much cool stuff. So you go through the first room, then the second room, and then you walk out, and the first thing you see is just the tail cones of the Saturn V over your head. And it is absolutely monstrous.
Awesome.
So got tons of cool pictures of all that. And then we went, so this is the one that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Then we went and saw the Atlantis shuttle that they have on display there. And again, you walk into a room, you watch a presentation. You walk into one more room, you watch a presentation. And this is where you have that screen in front of you that you're watching a presentation on. You don't realize it's a semi-transparent screen until they cut the lights just right and you can see through it. And the only thing taking up your view is the nose, staring straight at the nose of the
awesome.
Atlantis.
That is
awesome. Very few, there's several things in my life that have brought me to tears, mostly to do with my children. Both of these moments of seeing these rockets, the Saturn V and the Atlantis, brought me to tears.
That's awesome.
It was so freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we'll show pictures.
There'll be some pictures.
I could go on forever, but
talk about the
model.
The model.
Yes. Okay.
Because that was awesome. I mean, not that the rest of this wasn't awesome.
No,
also, but talk about the model.
So when they were showing the video of starting the space shuttle program, because all the Mercury and the Gemini and the Apollos, those were all kind of single-use rockets and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was really hard. It was very expensive.
Yes.
So they wanted to make it like what SpaceX has done, reusable to bring down cost.
Yes.
So with the space shuttle program, they set it up so that the shuttle and the two side boosters were reusable. The only thing that got thrown away and burned up in the atmosphere was that center fuel tank.
Yep.
And
which brought the cost down a ton.
Millions.
Yes.
Absolute millions. But the way they did that, the way they presented that, is the guy in charge of this project that they were keeping classified called all his engineers together. And in the video, I'm sure this is dramatized a lot, but it's super awesome. They're like, "What are we doing here? Why did you know why we're here?" And then all of a sudden, from the top balcony, this dude calls out, "This is why we're here." And he just chucks this glider model, this balsa and tissue glider model, straight at them, and it just glides right down.
A glider model of the shuttle.
Yeah. So, and they have the actual model on display.
Do you have a picture?
I do.
Well, it'll be here somewhere.
It is the tissue is a little torn up because it's 70, 80 years old at this point. No. 60 years old.
60 years old. Yeah, math is hard.
But the whole idea was it needs to launch like a rocket, act as a spacecraft in space, and then land like a glider.
And it did.
And it does, because it's a lifting body design with all sorts of ailerons, flaperons, all that sort of stuff. And it works like an absolute dream.
You have
hundreds of missions out of those things.
Well, yeah, but and they have the shuttle has some control when landing.
Oh yeah.
And I say some control. I watched an interview with one of the shuttle pilots, and he says it's like steering a bus over a waterfall. Yes, not a steep waterfall, but over a waterfall.
Yeah,
yeah. You know you're or through rapids. It's gonna go. You're not gonna die.
All you can really do is keep it pointed in the right direction.
Yeah. You're just putting it so nose up and coming down, so you're not dying.
Yeah, it has a rudder. It has elevons,
and it can steer, but it's mostly just a gliding rock.
Yeah, exactly. Heat shielded gliding rock.
But But they did hundreds of missions with all of the total of 5 shuttles that they had.
My word!
I'm not going to talk about some of the sad missions.
They have pieces of those
I remember Challenger. I was in 4th grade when that happened.
I was alive. I remember.
You
Discovery.
were not alive for that one.
No, I was alive for Discovery.
Yes.
And I remember Discovery.
I remember Discovery also. Both of them sad, but just all in all, though, the technology that they used, they took model
what we
and
do
upscaled it to. Now, what we do is we take full size and downscale them. But they did it the reverse. But the best part about aeronautics is it scales almost perfectly.
Which is why they were able to take that balsa chuck glider and say this is going to be like it looks very different from the actual
they
space
changed
shuttle.
It a lot, but they had a starting
the proof
point.
of concept.
Yes.
And that same sort of thing still happens today.
So once again, his outing was cooler than mine. I did get out. Did you have something else? That was
I could go on.
We're gonna
about that trip.
I would love to go on more about
because the Artemis missions are coming up, and I am so excited for those. Artemis 1 launches in March or in May
of this year.
The unmanned mission around the moon to prove
I'm gonna have
SLS.
to pull up my NASA stuff.
It is.
I'm a big fan, but anyway,
it is so cool.
Back to
go ahead.
RC stuff.
I'm sorry. I'm excited.
So, some of you may have seen my snowy picture on my Instagram.
Yep.
And Facebook. I think I put it there,
You put
too.
it on Facebook, and I shared it to the podcast stories.
Yeah, so if you saw those, I was just in my backyard. It had snowed a couple days prior, and I was just cruising around, and I get done, and I open it up, and it completely covered in snow. It was awesome time. So that was one outing. Then, I don't know, a few days later, a week later or so, I went out to the park across the street from my house, and I drove a bunch more. I had my nephew with me and my son, and they were driving something, and they were taking turns. We were all 3 taking turns, and we drove for 45 minutes or so.
Oh, there you go.
Burned through a whole battery, 2 batteries actually.
Nice.
Only 1.5 batteries, but
still.
Then I ran into so I have the hoverboard. I've got a little seat for the hoverboard, and that's what they were driving. And I ran into my son when he was
on the hoverboard.
Yeah, he stopped, and I expected him to keep going, and so I didn't turn fast enough to get out of the way.
Ouch.
And so he's like, I didn't know. I'm like, it's fine. It's okay. And then a few minutes later, I notice that my one wheel is flopping. It's turning sideways. And on an RC truck, your wheel when your wheel turns sideways, if your whole truck's not sideways, you have bad things happened.
If any vehicle, your wheel turns sideways without the rest of it, very bad things have happened.
And generally speaking, when you're up on 2 wheels, it's not always on purpose. I mean, I was doing it on purpose at the park. I was up on 2, like I was getting it to like drive for several feet on 2 wheels.
Nice.
It was fun. Not wheelies, but side wheels. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I broke my shock.
Nice.
One of my front shocks, which is why I bought new ones.
Oh, did you break the mounting tab on the top? Okay.
I broke the mounting tab. Oh, and I bent the living crap out of the bar, which was okay because I actually fixed the bar, and I could buy. I could potentially have 2 sets of shocks, the original ones, because I could rebuy the mounting bracket because it screws on.
Oh yeah.
I just need to go find it, but I'm doing the upgrade. I'm going to upgrade to the it's an aluminum.
You've been
aluminum
out of focus
alloy.
this whole time. I'm
What?
sorry. You've been out of focus this whole time. I'm sorry.
That's the story of my life. But
go on, carry on.
But I'm excited to put them in. I also built my own out of wood. I got it all handy and got some wood, and I drilled some holes in it to match, so I can put all my shock absorbers in there, and I can get the oil all exactly the same.
You didn't want a 3D print one?
I tried multiple times, and none of them were successful.
All right.
And then I have to repair my 3D printer.
What'd you do?
Well, there's lots of little things just running that I was running a lot, and a lot of my stuff is wearing out. It's not necessarily the best. I didn't buy the top of line, and some of the pieces are wearing out. But
that's too bad.
It's not a big deal. I will repair that, and I will print some stuff. But I just built these, and I'm super excited to do that. But the box is still sitting on my desk next to my frame with. I've got a couple different weights of oil that I'm going to put in the shock absorber. So, with the heavier weight of my drive shaft, which this actually. Yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into my what I've been doing.
Do it.
So as I was replacing I had the heavier drive shafts in there. I have noticed that it sits a little deeper, which is fine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's heavier,
so
it's gonna sit deeper. So when I was replacing my shocks, I've been meaning to upgrade the oil in my shocks anyway.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of getting replacements anyway. I just wanted to wait till they broke. Lucky me, they broke.
You're going to have a whole new Haas by the time you're done with this.
Almost. But I'm excited to dive in and start playing around with the different weights of oil. Now, I was talking to our friends over at West Valley Hobbies. They're awesome people. They're very knowledgeable when it comes to everything they sell, pretty much. Now, each person there has their expertise, but they all know a little bit about everything. So, very knowledgeable people. If you're in the Salt Lake Valley area, I highly suggest utilizing them both for their knowledge and products that they have on hand.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. But, so I'm excited. I got two different weights of oil for the shocks. I've got a 40 and a 45. It's the standard is a 30, so the shocks came with 30. But as I was talking with her,
the little short girl.
Yep.
Okay. She's nice. I like her.
Yeah, I don't know her name. But as I was talking with her, we were discussing the different weights, and she suggested that depending on what I was going to do, and I'm like, well, right now I'm doing a little bit of everything, a little bit of street, a little bit of jumping. She's like, okay, so when you decide exactly what you're going to do, you're going to adjust this, but start at 45.
Okay.
No, she originally said start at 40, but then she moved it up to 45 because I do a little bit more bashing, and that's going to be give my nicer landings because it has more pressure to reduce.
You'll see less bounce, and you'll dip it less.
Yeah, it'll come down, and I won't bounce back up as hard either.
Yep. Exactly.
So, super excited to throw in the 45 and get it out there. And I'm going to plan a trip to go down south to visit my mom. Air quotes on that. No, I'm visiting my mom, but there's that bike track, BMX bike that I need. It's 5 minutes from my mom's house. I need to go try this thing. I found out about it after my car had broken. So I'm looking forward to doing that and seeing what the different oil. I'll take some oil with me when I go down there so I can adjust it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to start with the 45 or the 40. I have no idea. But she was saying that she adjusts it almost constantly, depending on what she's going to go do with her trucks.
Well,
like
I'm
if
sure
she's going to go jump,
going to change it as well.
It probably does. I don't know. This is stuff that I'm still learning about that. So, but anyway, that is that is what I'm working on. So I've already replaced the drive shafts. I've already added the new aluminum, and it looks sick when you see it. It's so gorgeous. And the next step, get those new shock absorbers put on there and start playing with the oils and how they react. I might have to get another set of shock absorbers so I can just change out shock absorbers and not have to change out the oil every time. Oil's cheap, but if I have two sets, then I can have two different ones ready.
It's easier to change out the shocks than it is to change out the oil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
just had to make sure.
Yeah. That is my last project that I have been doing. What do you got? You got something on here, Derek?
I do. So last time I told you guys how I was going to be getting those spare wings of the K8B glider, and I do have those, which you can see behind me.
There, my finger's in the way.
The biggest mushed up one is this one, where the whole wingtip is all kind of goobered.
Are you going to repair that? Probably
not.
Okay.
The
You're just pulling parts off.
Yeah, I'm basically scrapping these things for parts, which is nice because it has all the control rods and control wires all ready for me.
Which you need, because you don't have any of that for yours.
No, I don't. And then the main part that I really needed was this little aluminum tab, which I realized.
Put me out of focus. Put me back in focus.
Right? This little aluminum tab, which I actually sent you the wrong pictures for the last episode.
Oh, okay.
But these are the wing tabs.
Oh, those are the ones we talked about, and you got those other pictures. Okay.
Yeah. There, you're back in focus.
Awesome.
So what these do is they bolt into the end of the wing, and then you slide the forked end into the fuselage where the wing matches up, and then from the top of the fuselage you bolt this down.
Okay.
And that's what helps pin the wing in place.
Yeah.
So you slide it over the wing tubes and then you pin it in place with this.
Awesome.
So I have these now, which is perfect because that was, aside from the wing tube, one of the biggest things I was missing.
Yeah.
Because everything else I can source myself, like the control horns and stuff, I can find.
Well, now you can.
Well, and I could reverse
now that you
engineer
know what this looks like. You can either find them or...
Oh, I knew what it looked like. I couldn't find it.
Oh, really? There's got to be somebody that manufactures these.
I could.
But you could try... 3D printing is not going to be good
It's not going to
enough.
be strong enough, no.
No, but you can find somebody who's got an aluminum press.
Oh, not if I find somebody that's got a laser cutter that can cut aluminum, like if I take this to Wasatch Steel.
Oh, and have them cut the aluminum?
Yeah. Or if I took this to work, like
Can you cut aluminum at your work?
Oh, the main material we work in is aluminum. We have a laser cutter and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
But the problem would be finding time to actually get on it, which is slim to none.
Aluminum can be expensive, though.
It can be.
And you probably would have to buy a sheet.
You can buy small sections of it. Like you can go to.
You definitely can, but
yeah. It's pretty cheap when you buy it in small sections.
Yeah, and you could probably get, a 12-inch by square foot.
Yeah.
And get, 20 of those out of that?
Yeah, not that I need them, but
no.
Yeah. So I finally got those, so I'll be able to start working on that KA8B, which I'm super excited for. Yeah. And if I can get that working in time for SOAR Utah.
Oh, that'll be
I probably
a fun
won't, but if I could,
like
it'd be
we
amazing.
Last time. Yeah, I'm not.
I may bring it just to show it.
Yeah, have it on display. You could take a couple and display them because a lot of people, from what you saw, a lot of people have them. It looks like they're selling them.
Yeah, a lot of people are. There's a lot on display, and then there's even more just sitting there with price tags.
Yeah, which is cool.
And then about half of the ones that are brought might get flown. Just because people just love coming out and hanging out and watching the planes.
Yeah, well, that's what I would do. Come out. I would bring my nice camping chair and invite people to sit down and we chit chat.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you don't even need to do that. Everyone else has their camping chairs and their awnings, so you just take your camera and walk up to someone. Hey, how's it going? Can I talk to you?
There's that too.
Yeah. So that is the latest on my projects. I already told you about my FPV setup.
Yep.
Told you. Oh, the rock hobby's all fixed up, but I think I already mentioned that. I've been doing other 3D printing projects these last couple weeks, so I haven't done much actual. Oh, other project I've been working on. So if you get, this is the last project I'll talk about, then we'll actually get to the workbench.
All right.
If you get on RC groups or flight test forums or a lot of different places, there's a dude out there that has since dropped off the face of the earth, as far as I can tell, that designed and put out plans and everything for a RC paramotor.
Awesome.
For the wing. So templates and everything and dimensions for cutting, sewing, and rigging your own paramotor wing.
That sounds pretty cool.
My brother built one. I showed you the video last night.
I saw the video.
It flies amazing. It looks like super fun. It ends up being like a 1.5 to 2 meter wing on the wingspan.
I might fit that in here somewhere if you send it to me.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I can send you the link.
Okay.
But what I want, like, that looks super fun. So my brother built one. It works great. I want to build one because that just looks like fun. And then I'm in the process of designing my own. I found the software that allows me to do it. It's free.
Awesome.
There's actually 2 softwares. The software the guy used, for some reason, is giving me fits.
Really?
I have no idea. Yeah, it's super weird. But I found another software that works great, and I'm in contact with the developer and going back and forth with him with questions and stuff. And he's really being helpful on helping me work through the software. But it's super cool because I'm designing my own paraglider wing, and I want to design one that's like a 1 meter wingspan, so I can fly it in the gym at church, or just on a dead calm day here.
Yeah.
Or in the hallways at work, because why not?
Yeah.
And then I want to design a bigger one, like just basically scale it up to about 3 meters.
That'd be cool.
That's like that one you'd load down with like 12 pounds, and I could take that to a calm day on a hill and do some slope soaring with it.
That'd be fun.
Some paragliding. So
that'd be so much fun.
I am working on that. That is going to be a slow burn on that project, but I'm excited for it.
Well,
should be a lot of fun.
As you get updates, you make sure you share them here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I know you will.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure if you watch one of the many Instagrams that there'll be updates as he gets those.
There's only 2 Instagrams, mine and ours. Well, and your personal one.
My personal one. So, awesome though. All right. So, do we want to get on the workbench
yeah.
here?
So we're gonna
workbench,
clean things up a little bit, and we're gonna do a workbench segment.
That's the new thing that we're trying. So
we did it once before. We're gonna do it once again,
and it seemed to do pretty good. People seem to like it.
So if you're only here for the audio portion, this part may be a little tricky. If you're only here for the video portion, this is the part that's going to be really entertaining. I forget what that is.
I don't know what it is either.
I don't think it's... Yeah, we'll find out.
But as we did many times ago, we've got
the tiny trainer.
The tiny trainer, and that's the fuselage. This is the motor mount.
Power pod.
Thank you, power pod. I was trying to pull that out of my butt. The name.
That sounds painful.
The name. So, and then here's everything else. So I don't have any idea what anything does. So this is where the expert across the way here.
It's cute. You think I'm an expert?
Compared to me, when it comes to this stuff, you definitely are.
Okay, so we can either build one of the 2 wings, or we can build one of the 2 noses.
Yep.
Which one do you want to do?
I don't really care. I really
Are
do
you at my mercy?
Enjoy flying, even though I suck at it.
Oh yeah, flying's fun.
I do enjoy flying it, flying, and I actually was turned around, was looking for some stuff, and I saw the remains of my DLG.
Sad.
And yes, it made me sad because I enjoyed that a lot, and I was actually beginning to get it controllable.
Yeah.
I wasn't good, but I was beginning to get it controllable. So let's just jump in. What do you think would be, I don't know, what do we got, about 20 minutes? 20, 25 minutes, something like that?
Something like that, yeah. We're at 50 minutes now. Yeah, let's give it 20 minutes. Okay. Let's do you want to try flying this powered or as a chuck glider that you can control?
Probably start with the chuck glider.
Okay, then
let's build the nose.
Let's build the nose then.
Let's build the first nose. So where'd the power? Oh, let's get this stuff out of the way.
Yeah, take that. Take these.
And we don't need these. Oh, wait.
No, we
not
don't.
For this piece.
Okay.
Although as it becomes 3-dimensional, it is harder to store in my office.
Yeah. Well. Okay, so we've got this camera here that's kind of pointing down.
And then we also we're gonna have some GoPro action.
Yep. Let's focus on yours since you're the one that's going to be editing and you'll have easier access to it.
If I can figure out how to turn mine on.
You hit the power button
Yeah.
with the battery.
I got a battery, but that battery's dead. I have another battery.
Okay, well, we can just use mine. We have to spend forever transferring files anyway.
Yeah, we do. Aha, see? Working. Gotta turn it on, though.
I was going to say, are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, so...
Okay, so we have our power. So on this sheet, we have our glider nose, the glider nose reinforcements, the tail, the powered nose reinforcements, and then this is the hatch for the gliding nose. And then this is the little tab that goes, I think, up in there.
Probably in that slot right there, I'm betting, to mount it, to hold it on. I bet it.
Yes, because I think it glues into this one and then tabs into that.
Yeah, something like that.
But we will start with this section and these two reinforcers.
Okay.
So let's get that sucker cut out. Let me get my...
I have a blade here too, so there's one reinforcement.
I have my blade faster.
And I apologize for the audio. Let me move my mic.
Yeah, get your mic back or in front
down
of you.
here where I can actually talk and work at the same time. So,
right. So we've got our two reinforcement pieces out.
And then,
is this running or is it just?
No, I just turned it off.
Okay.
But if we want to go ahead. So
okay.
Need to snap
so we've got
here.
our two reinforcement pieces here. And then
trying to talk and concentrate is something that I am not very masterful at.
Oh, that's already cut through.
Yeah, that should be cut. And then it was just the two pieces.
Okay.
Look like at least. So.
All right, so we've got that out.
Oh, there's a little.
Gotta love when the laser doesn't get through the last bit of paper all the way.
And there's a little. That's another thing I would like is a laser etch.
Laser engraver?
Yeah.
Or laser cutter? Yeah,
Laser
me too.
cutter. But I don't have, as spoken before, I don't have.
Space or money.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and put that down. We will get that back in just a little bit. Okay, so first things first, let's get this camera here real quick.
Now this.
So you'll notice, you remember how the B-fold works? The sides go beside the bottom.
Yeah, so we'll cut along those lines.
Well, we don't need to cut it. We can just take it and crack it.
Oh, because they've already been.
Because they've already been cut.
Yeah. Crack it, and then I need to take out that center piece.
Yes.
On both of them.
Yep.
Let's see if I can. I watched the video a year and a half ago.
It's okay. They're really easy. Like, there's not much to these.
I'm just terrified.
Okay, so go ahead and fold it all the way over. Yep.
And then
set it down and just start kind of peeling that off.
oh my gosh, this is
riveting TV right here.
Well, I'm concentrating and I'm the talker, so
It's true.
There we go. And yeah, if I wasn't concentrating so hard, I could make this very riveting. Anyway, there we go. So I probably need to clean that up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely
right?
clean that up a bit. You want that nice.
And
There we go. We'll just leave that sitting right there and running.
Flight Test has an amazing video for this.
Oh yeah, don't follow our build video. Follow theirs.
What we're doing here is just sharing our experience with you.
We're sharing Steven's build experience.
Yes, we're not teaching you how to do this. If you want to learn how to do this, you're gonna go to Flight Test, and you're gonna Okay, I need to clean that up a little bit. And you're gonna watch their video, and then you're gonna be like, "Why are these guys such idiots?" And that's
That's a fair question.
It's fair, very fair. And that's because I'm a noob on so many levels, and I don't know what Derek's excuse is.
I'm dealing with a noob.
So fair. And just one thing, you want to be very careful.
Ow, my knees.
Not to cut through the scored paper.
Yeah, you don't want to cut through the backside.
And
remember, it goes besides.
Oh,
Besides.
that side.
Yep.
That.
Okay.
Oh, B is beside. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, now get the other one out.
Okay. Gosh, I'm so terrified that I'm going to break things, not the way they need to be broken. That honestly is part of the reason why I have not done this by myself, because I don't want to break it.
That's fair. Like, I get that.
And I'm glad that this is a new segment on here, because I look forward to both doing this and working on helping you, or watching you, I'm going to say more likely, with some of your build stuff. Because I'm not going to be the only one that does it.
No. Like, when we get through to certain points on some of my builds, maybe for like the K8B or other stuff, like whenever I get around to finishing that F-16, I'll take you guys through some of those build sections.
And we'll do that here. And there'll be some cars, trucks.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I need to get my Savage up and running. Okay. So those both sit
They need to
in their
sit.
spot besides. Okay.
Yeah.
They don't have to sit perfect. They just have to sit
But
close.
where's my 90 piece?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I've got these blocks.
Oh, that's right. You have the blocks.
I have aluminum angles.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do before we get to that, because we will need those.
Yeah.
First, we need to glue these. So I've got this thing just sitting here running.
Good.
So we have these parts. You see that little scored line
They
right
just
around
go
there?
in there.
You line them up in there. So first thing we need to do is get your hot glue ammunition.
Yep. And we're
just kind of
do
squiggle
one at a time.
Yeah,
right?
just do one at a time. Just kind of squiggle it in there.
Now, do I need a lot, or
That's enough.
A little bit?
Just enough. I know that's super vague. You're good.
This is another thing.
All right, and then that gets squooshed down there. Make sure you are lined up with the lines all around.
Because otherwise it won't fit somewhere else later.
Yeah, it won't be able to fit. The canopy that wraps around it won't fit in place.
All right, I think I got that one pretty good.
Yep. All right. So go ahead and get the other one. I'm just going to weight that down a little bit.
Yeah. Oop, need another one.
That's why I got them out.
And
if you are unlucky enough to have these tiny little glue guns like we have here, go to Walmart and buy these 10-inch glue sticks, because it's so much nicer to not be loading a new glue stick every 10 seconds.
Yes, I have the little 4-inch ones, and I tell you right now, like I'm just gluing something, and I'm like, why is no glue coming out? I need glue right now. I don't have enough. And it's because the little thing fell out. I mean, it just burned through so dang quickly. So I'm going to take 2 of those.
10-inch rods are so worth it, because they come in a big bag of a lot.
Yeah. The little ones come, the 4-inch.
16 pieces in this bag, and it was like $5.
And the 4-inch ones do come with a lot also, but they're for small projects, not for things like this.
Yeah. And honestly, these guns aren't for this big projects like this. You want the bigger guns.
You really do, but, if you're on a budget,
oh yeah,
there's nothing, they'll do the job.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's just maybe not
as nicely.
Yeah, the best. All right.
Then those are set now. So, okay. So next, we just want to make sure that these still sit.
Oh, they do.
They do. They fit beautifully. So, since we're going beside, we want to make sure that the glue goes down in the corner between the bottom layer of foam and that piece of paper. So
goes
there.
right on that foam
Yes, because then it'll get squished
against
by
this
this
side.
edge right here.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll hold this up for you.
And I'm just going to
You
start.
just squeeze, just run it down there. Da 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 da.
This is. Oh.
There you go.
Okay, and then we
And then
put
we
that
take
in.
the aluminum
and
angle and just use it to make sure that it holds square. And you can just hang on to that for a
Yep,
minute.
I will.
Good plan.
And like I said, my biggest fear here on all of this was I was gonna mess something up.
Mine was like I cut mine out by hand with a razor blade. Then my first plane I ever built, and it was the Tiny Trainer.
Yeah,
It flew fine.
yeah, but
I didn't control it well, but it flew fine.
So that's like I am excited to get out and chuck this guy around a little bit, fly him around, and then we'll build all of the pieces.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'll start with the glider, and then just upgrade.
Yep.
And the coolest part about this one is you can it's just a glider, not even a controlled glider, just a glider.
This stopped recording a while ago, apparently.
Oh, wow.
That's okay. We've got your
We've
audio.
Got lots of recordings.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Steven's back.
Yeah, hi. I mean, you've been looking at my hands.
Oh, yeah, there. Yep, and that's still going.
But
All right, we're good to move on to the next
yeah.
one.
And
So,
so
again, just right down there. Go ahead and keep talking.
this tiny trainer here will allow you to go just a glider. It's an advanced paper airplane.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can go to power gliding.
That's right. That was my other outing.
Oh, yeah, talk about that. We can talk about that while we're setting.
Because that was both of us.
Yes, because we were both there.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead and finish your thought, and then we'll talk about that.
Yeah. I'm trying to get the glue gun.
Just lay it down. It's fine.
There we go. And so you can go with just a glider. You throw it down, long hallways or whatever, and it just glides. Then you can put up your control systems.
Yep.
And you can chuck it and then steer it.
Yep.
Which also allows you, if you're in a windy area, you could actually glide. Like you can't. I mean, if you're good, you could.
You could
find
do. Oh yeah, you
thermals
could
and whatever.
thermal with this easy.
Then the third step up is you can put a motor on it.
Yep.
So this plane literally will take you from more than paper airplanes, from the step up of paper airplanes to full blown pull out the controller and fly it.
Well, you go from 0 channel to 2 channel to 3 channel to 4 channel.
What he said.
Because there's 2 different wings. You've got your polyhedral wing.
Oh yes, that's right.
Which has no ailerons, and you have your dihedral wing that does have ailerons.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So yeah, there's all
from
kinds
0 to 4 channel. This thing will
in
advance
10.2
you.
seconds.
Yeah, will advance you.
Yeah. All right.
Talk about the paper airplanes.
Okay, so along with all the FPV stuff I got, I also received, some of you may have heard of a little toy called the Power Up 2.0.
And I think we briefly talked about this last time.
We may not. No, we didn't, because we recorded before February.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember.
But anyway.
What it is this little, it's a capacitor on a stick, or on a clip with a stick that leads back to a small, tiny, like inductrix motor.
Yes.
Just a little brushed motor. And you charge it up, or you clip it onto a paper airplane, you charge it up with some batteries, and you chuck it, and it will power, like, you hold the thing on for like 20 seconds, and it'll spin the motor for 30. So if you build a really good airplane, it'll fly for 30 seconds, in theory.
In theory.
Until it crashes.
Which is what happened more often than anything.
Oh, yeah. So this last President's Day, my boys were getting tired of being cooped up because they'd been inside all weekend because it's freezing outside.
Yes.
So I called up Steven and I'm like, hey, we're going to go over to the church because I have keys and to get in, and we're going to go try flying paper airplanes in the gym. The gym wasn't available, so we went into one of the bigger classrooms. But we just went nuts building paper airplanes and trying different styles.
So many different ones. So it was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun. There was one that I build. It's a glider.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get the motor on, mostly because it wasn't my motor, so I wasn't willing to put a lot of stress on it. And so Derek got it on there, and this thing, the way it fit, it was pointing at about a 33-degree angle down.
Yeah, because normally you mount the motor on top so that the prop is clear of any hitting anything when it lands.
Yeah.
But this one I had to mount it underneath, so it ended up pointing like the plane is here and the prop is pointed down there.
It might have only been like 28 degrees, but it was
still
perfect because this thing, it wanted to climb and fly, and oh my gosh, it flew probably
so
the best one. And then I have a Dart one that flies really good. That it flew good with the motor. And then they have some he's got a book that's very that there's some very complicated builds.
Oh yeah.
Some of them fly amazing. Some of them,
it depends on how well you build it.
Fly less
or they're
amazing.
Terrible.
But it was so much fun. The boys had a grand old time.
Oh yeah.
The older boys, me and Derek had a grand old time. And so much so.
Oh yeah.
That I'm going to be getting that motor.
Well, and the fun thing is, so they have two different ones. They have the 2.0, which is just the capacitor and a motor, which is what I have. And then they have the 4.0, which has Bluetooth control and two motors, so you can connect it to your phone
and
throw it, and then steer it. You have differential thrust, and then if you like power it up, it'll like climb and stuff, kind of like the FT Freighter that I have.
Yeah.
But it's Bluetooth controlled on a paper airplane.
Only awesomeness.
Oh yeah.
Only awesomeness.
And we broke one propeller. It came with one extra, so I need to order another set of extras. But you can get a set of extras for like $14, and it comes with like 12.
Yeah.
So I need to get one of those on order.
So when he does that,
a second 2.0.
He's gonna order me a couple motors too. Also, so it takes so much fun.
It takes your airplanes to a whole nother. Like you can't fly it in the house unless you're rich and have a huge house.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you've seen the video. We've posted a video of us flying it.
Yes, when we flew it in my house.
Yes, in Derek's house.
Didn't go well.
I flew better than Derek did.
True story.
I mean, I'm not going to say I'm a better pilot than he is.
You're a better paper airplane thrower.
But I am a better paper airplane thrower.
Better powered paper airplane thrower.
Oh, yes.
Because even when we were last Monday, you were doing better than I was.
Yes. My planes were flying better when I threw them.
Yeah.
First, and your planes did better when I threw them also.
Yeah, I'm not used to throwing a motored paper airplane.
So is this
done?
Done?
Almost.
What do we got left?
One last step. So grab that piece that we pulled all these off of.
Okay.
Okay, so now we need
this long piece,
this long strippy piece right there. So if you'll go ahead and get that out, I'll turn the GoPro back on.
Get some snippities done
here. So what that piece is going to do, I'll show the cameras.
Go across the top, right?
Be glued around the bottom of the nose, and then it'll be an open flap at the top of the nose. So, and that's how you'll like open it up and stick all your powered stuff in there.
When I upgrade to powered.
No, like your battery.
Yeah, when I upgrade to powered.
Oh yeah. You don't want to do this as a powered or as a controllable chuck glider?
No, maybe not at first.
Okay. So yeah, when you electrify it and stuff.
I'm gonna become confident in my everything, and we don't need.
Okay, that's all we need. So if you look around the edge, there's edges on 3 sides you need to get out. You see that?
So I need to. Okay, I see it. So I need to pull that piece off.
Yep.
If I'm going to be concentrating on this, you need to talk.
I need to talk, man. Who put that in? Who thought this was a good idea?
We both did. Obviously, neither one of us were thinking straight.
Clearly. All right, so, and what we'll also be doing is we will be peeling off some of the paper so that the foam will curl around the nose. It's actually a pretty cool technique.
I remember that.
So, I don't know. What do you guys want to hear about? Like, what should I talk about? All the planes you can see behind me on my shelf of chaos? Or all the planes you can't see behind because the camera's not pointed on them on my other shelf of chaos?
Yeah, you can see all of his wife's stuff behind me, so that's exciting.
It's okay. Your head's almost hiding the sparkly sign. It was for a little bit. There it goes. Wherever she goes, she leaves a little sparkle. That's my wife.
That's only because she works with glitter.
Yep. The herpes of the craft world.
My favorite. Speaking of that, my favorite comment is Johnny, Billy, and Susie are all doing crafts. Susie has glitter. Which craft projects have glitter? All of them. This is very challenging to pull this piece off, mostly because I'm being very cautious because I don't want to tear the paper.
No, you're doing fine. So this plane is made with Flight Test waterproof foam board, which is why it's brown. So the paper has got like this waxy coating and stuff. It's a lot harder to tear.
Yeah, I've noticed.
It's not like the white foam board that I use on mine, or that they used in the beginning. The Adams Ready board.
Yeah, just trying to keep it nice as possible.
Yeah, it's not like this stuff where it's just plain white paper that's strapped to it, because that stuff, it'll tear pretty easy. Get all the bits out of the way.
Yep, and then I got to do the other side.
Yep. You want me to do the other side?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you're welcome. Not that I really have to have you do the other side, but I am happy to see if you have a better technique on getting that off than I did.
We'll find out.
Because what I did sucked. Go for it.
Get the camera or the microphone down here with me.
And
all right. So I'm going to start by. I'm going to take the back side of this snappable blade
and just give
just
yourself
run it through there just to kind of start it.
And make sure, and he's doing the back side so he doesn't push through to the other side.
Exactly.
Because you don't want to push on through. Push on through the other side.
I'm making sure I don't stab my hand into it. And then I'll crack it back. Wow, this stuff is stiff.
Yeah.
I'm going to do another pass.
And if you watch the flight test build of this, they have some techniques. I don't remember what those techniques are, but they do have techniques on making this a little easier to do.
There we go. Look at that. That comes open a lot easier now.
Yeah, that was well done.
So now we can go through.
Look at that. Look at how, see, and much cleaner.
Yeah. All right, so there's a little technique that you may have picked up from flight test, but using, even on an X-Acto blade, but turning it over so that the blade is up and using the backside and just kind of scraping down those scores.
Yeah, just
to really help.
Give yourself a little bit more. Now I need to take off. Where is it? This side I take off or this side?
So we've got, there's a score line right here, which we're going to pop it back on.
Yeah.
And what you need to take off is the paper.
This wraps around that whole this whole piece.
So this part will get glued. This part will get glued in right here, and we need it to wrap right here. And then this is the flap where we access things.
Okay.
So you need to peel off the paper off of this half.
This half, and
yes, that half right there.
And the foam stays, obviously.
Yeah, the foam will stay.
Fingernails.
Yep, they're useful.
I don't have any.
That's okay.
And then this piece will be glued to here.
Yep.
But I want to make sure it fits before we add the glue.
Set well, and first we also need to curl it.
Oh, is there a technique for curling it?
The easiest technique is to just kind of sit here, set it against the table, fingers and thumbs, and just kind of walk it back.
And step it through.
And just kind of step it through.
Okay.
The other way that flight test does it is they'll take the edge of the table and they'll just kind of roll it over the edge of the table, and that'll that's how they do their Master Series planes, just up to the brake.
Yep.
And
like that. That should be.
That should be enough, because we can now see how it fits together. Very nice.
Very, very nice.
There we go. And then there's our access point right there.
Yep.
And then this little tab will get glued in.
Does it get glued in, or does it stay out to?
So this gets glued in. Grab the fuselage.
Oh, I see how it fits.
So that
Did
gets.
you put the glue gun back in?
Yeah, it's plugged back in. So this will. Yep. This will slide in like that.
And then
the fuselage will slide into the open end of the nose.
And that'll already be down there.
That'll already be down there. And then this little tab
will fit inside of there.
Closes the hatch.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so go ahead and put that back. So let's just make sure.
Got a good clean connection.
Nice and clean here. All right, cool.
And then let me clean this piece up right here a little
go
bit.
ahead.
Then
we are going to want glue.
We start glue here, right?
Well, so I actually like to put glue, when doing this part, I put glue on the fuselage. So you'll run 2 beads of glue, one here and one here. Well, 4 technically. So
and then won't I put
2,
one here
3,
too?
4. Yeah, and you can put one right there across the back.
Not on the paper side, because the paper will be here. Right?
We can get back to that.
Okay.
Like we can, because that'll just easily roll up.
So we're doing one here, one here, one here, one here.
The critical ones are the inside ones.
The inside ones? Okay.
So start with those ones.
Okay.
Because we can curl the paper back and squish that into place easy enough by hand.
Got it. Yeah, I
so
understand.
just go up to the bend in the nose.
Yep.
We'll wrap it around in a minute.
And that.
And then one right across the foam in the back.
Right there. Like that. All right.
Just like that. And then we'll take this, slip it in.
Fit it in there and push it down in nice and tight. Just like that. And then we hold it in position like this. Oh, yeah, you got the paper under there.
Yep, I got the paper under
I'll let you hold that one then.
It's okay if we get a little squeeze out at the nose. So we can just take a bit of foam. Yoink.
Yeah, and just wipe it.
Just wipe it because we need to make sure that
It doesn't
have a
bulge.
blob there to
we don't want to bulge.
wrap around. All right.
Then we do the same thing.
So do the same thing, and we're only going to go up to
just.
I'm just going to make a little mark right there and right there with my knife. That way you have a reference point of where to stop.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to start there.
Yep.
And right there.
Yep. Get a big, thick bead of glue in there. You're
My little thin.
a little thin. Yep, right there.
There
Perfect.
we go. And, let me touch the glue to you.
All right. And then we'll just take this.
One of my
roll it.
favorite things to do, apparently, is hurt Derek with airplanes. I did hit him when we went and played
Yes.
with the paper airplanes.
Yeah, in case you were wondering, he was still out to get me.
It's not that I'm trying to, like, hurt you
Yeah.
on purpose, and I don't want it to look like that, at least.
Exactly. It's all for just preparing your alibi.
Yeah.
All right. And there we go. We have that now glued in place. That is all set. You can now, so with these little edges of paper,
Yeah, we can.
we can either go through and put down, like you can put a little tab of glue in there. Just a little spoop.
Like that, and then.
And just smooth it over with a piece of foam. Same thing across the back-ish. I'll let you. Oh, hang on. Let's pull this out because it's just in the way.
Get in there a little bit. And
Just doober-doober-doober-doo. Just a little squishy squish.
and then push it out.
Smooth it down with a bit of foam. Perfect. Stuck on my fingernails.
Oh, and hot glue sticks to everything.
Thank goodness.
So, all right, what's left?
So that is, I think, like the next step for this nose cone is gluing this little tab in place.
Okay.
You want to do that real quick?
Sure.
Might as well. So you just need a dot
there,
dots
dot.
of just 2 dots of glue, and then squish it in there, and we're good to go.
And like I said, this makes me feel a lot more comfortable having somebody who's at least done this once,
Well,
even if it was 100 years ago. Which we all know is not true because Derek's not 100 years old.
well, and it was only in 2016.
But still, it was. You had done it.
I have learned a lot in the world of RC
Since-
since I built that plane.
And that is why I'm happy that we're doing the Workbench segment. There we go. That's a key word right there. Segment. Word of the day. All right. So that is the nose for the glider. And
Yeah.
whether you're doing the glider with one or two channels.
2 or 3 channels.
Well, that's what I meant. 2 or 3 channels. I knew it was something like that. Or you're just doing a chuck glider, no channels at all.
Yep.
That is what you start with. That's where you're at. We will do another segment later.
The next segment will probably be one of the wings, and then maybe one for the electronics.
Yeah.
But those will be in future episodes. We'll see what our schedule looks like.
Yep, we'll see how we can match it all together, and so we'll be slowly putting this together during these workbenches, and we might skip to something that Derek's working on in between. So don't expect that we'll get this through for the next 4 episodes or whatever. It's going to be just part of our segment. We're going to do a workbench. Whatever somebody's got going on, we will put on the workbench if it's something that we can share.
Yeah.
Because we want to share this experience with you guys. Part of this is just like the fun it is. And I've been having fun. I'm just nervous as all get out. And so that's why we thought it would be good to do a workbench. Share it with you, because it's not just flying, because it's also getting in and repairing and building and all of that fun stuff. And if I actually had nice shock absorbers, that could be a workbench also.
Oh, absolutely.
But we'll see. So
I think that's it. Like
beginner tips.
Oh.
Do you have any?
No, I don't think so.
I have one.
Okay, go ahead.
Loctite is your friend.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So
Don't forget your Loctite, kids.
I've been out a couple times before I broke my shock absorber. And every time that I've been out, something has gone wrong. One of the screws, when I replaced the aluminum, one of the screws through the aluminum,
stripped out.
no, it just came out.
Oh,
I don't know how.
Yeah.
I have no idea how.
All the vibrations and stuff just threaded it out. Yeah.
So I must have not put it in tight enough or something. I didn't have Loctite.
Yeah.
So that's my beginner tip. Loctite is your friend. Now you still got to be careful with it, but so I went and bought some more screws. That was something I'd missed. So anyway, that was the only beginner tip I had for RC stuff. Is Loctite is your RC trucks, especially if you're going out bashing. Loctite's your friend.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
all right,
I got the outro today, don't I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, all right. So remember, when flying, inverted is up. Nope, inverted up.
When flying inverted.
There we go. I would try this again. That's a failure. Remember, when flying inverted, up is down, and down is expensive. RPM is how hard you hit the ground, and torque is how far you have to dig to get it out. Oh my gosh, that was way challenging than it needed to be.
See you guys.